Welcome back again to my channel. And sometimes we are also dealing with a tricky ROR situations in oral. Recently, I just came across one of the questions where a candidate was asked that you've got a warship on the starboard side, precisely on your starboard bow. She calls you on a VHF and asks you to maintain course and speed. And then surveyor tries to trick you, stating that ROC is existing, steady bearing and range is decreasing. Now, first of all, I would like to start with the basic foundation of answer so that you can understand all aspects of ROR. So I will start with rule number 1A. And rule number 1A says, these rules apply to all vessels upon high seas and in all waters therewith navigable by seagoing vessels. It clearly says these rules, which means it is talking about Colric Convention and it is applicable to all vessels. All vessels means warship will also come in this. The definition of all vessels is given in rule number 3, which says that the word vessel includes every description of a watercraft, including non-displacement craft, WIG craft, and seaplane used or capable of being used as a mean of transportation on water. So warship also is qualifying under that definition as all vessels. So at the first place, if you look at 1A, Colric Convention is applicable to warship. If surveyor says that he has called you on a VHF and told you to maintain your course and speed, and if I go by Colric Convention in this case, which is in front of your screen, you are give way and warship is stand on, right? So you need to take action. But he's tricking you with the VHF, isn't it? So at that time, you should tell the surveyor that VHF can be a scanty information. If you see rule number 5, which is lookout, it says sight first, right? So it says rule number 5, I'm again going to write over here. Rule number 5, it says you should sight the things first, then you should try to hear, and then use all available means. And in that all available means category, VHF is coming. Now, I don't know who is on the other side of VHF, isn't it? Anybody can tell me to maintain course and speed, and suddenly in the court of law, it will be difficult to prove who called, right? So VHF information can be official or it can be scanty also. So I need to back it up with certain other sources also. Like I can go and relate it to SATC warnings. I can go and see SATC warnings, isn't it? And if I've got SATC warnings, it becomes official. If I've got NAVTEX warning, it obviously becomes official, isn't it? But VHF, I don't know who is on the other side. So I can use the VHF as a aid to navigation, but my final action should not rely only on VHF. And that is why you've seen a poster also on the bridge which says that VHF aided collision. To use it as a tool, don't use it to take your, to take a final call, right? It should be backed up by other sources also. You should use all available means, right? So if it is a situation where it says warship is on your starboard side, your PDV ROC is existing, you can say that obviously it applies to all the vessels. So warship also it applies to you, also it applies, and as per normal call rig you will take action. Now it doesn't finish here, because you've got 1B also to look into. And why I'm quoting 1B is because 1B, it is written that nothing in this rule shall interfere with the special rules. Now look at the red lines which I'm highlighting over here. Special rules made by appropriate authority. Which means 1A Even Warship was a party to a Calgary Convention. It is. And you are also a party to a Calgary Convention. 1B says that if there are special rules made by the appropriate authority, you need to abide by that. That is why I say that the location is also important. Your location of the vessels are also important. If it is in a coastal area or a territorial area, you need to look into something called the local publications and sailing direction, isn't it? So you need to look into sailing direction and local publication. Say, for example, in US coastal water, you need to refer to US 33 CFR code, right? Which is a publication everybody carries on board, isn't it? So in that, if it is written that you need to give way to a warship, right? You have to give way to warship. It doesn't matter. She can be on the port side also, where as per 1A, it is her duty to take action. Okay. But 1B says if there is something written in the local regulations, you need to abide by the local regulation itself. That is why I just wanted to bring a perspective of 1B also into picture. Right? Understood? So basically, 1A makes both the vessels party to a Calgary Convention. 1B might exempt a warship also if it is written and if it has been decided in their appropriate authority that he will have the right of way. Okay, then you have to take action. So you need to look into the sailing directions, local publications, US 33 CFR, for example, if you are transiting in the US coastal waters. Understood? Now, there is one more thing I would like to say over here. The second question, if you we have tried to answer the first one. The second question over here is might trick you, stating that there were no navigation warnings. Understood? So remember, guys, warships are special ships, right? They are not commercial ships. So they are always in a state of readiness. They are always in a state of readiness, right? Always in a state of readiness. What does it mean? That they might not be into some exercise. They might not be conducting any exercise, or they might not be conducting any military exercises in that area or in your vicinity, but they are standby for any kind of emergency. So they are not going to wait for Navtex or some local hydrographic office to publish the warnings through and distribute through SATC or Navtex, isn't it? They might also be conducting some secret operations which they don't want to tell you, isn't it? So in that case, again, I will go to rule number 5, where I have emphasized on citing and hearing. So what you're citing is basically, whenever you are into this kind of situation, you also have to cite a vessel, what kind of operations she is doing on scene. She might be an aircraft carrier and suddenly she gets an order where there is a launching or recovery of an aircraft. Then she becomes a ram vessel, isn't it? Then if she becomes a ram vessel, again, the duties will change as per rule number 18. So you need to look through your binoculars by sight. That is why sight has been given a preference in rule number 5. Before hearing itself, it is stating for sight, okay, believe your own eyes, then ears, and then go to the all available means. Understood? Right? So in spite of going directly through a VHF, where a warship is calling you on a VHF and stating that maintain your course and speed, it can be anybody. So it should be backed up by your citing of what kind of operation she is doing. She might be doing some special operations like replenishment. It again will make the vessel ram, isn't it? So you have to see. Understood? You have to see. So consider that if there is a warship on your port side also, over here, and if she is suddenly into a special operation, and if she gets a operation, say order for doing a certain operation, and which requires aircraft to land and which requires aircraft to come back to that particular vessel, becomes a ram vessel, isn't it? So that is why you need to see also, right? Understood? Okay. Then again, if ROC exists and if it is a responsibility, so I'm again going back to a situation. So there are different kind of situation, isn't it? Right? So if I'm again going back to a normal situation where there is a warship, there is no warning you've got for any kind of exercise, right? And you are a PDV and she's on your port side, the Calderay Convention will make her a giveaway vessel. As simple as that. Okay. But you have to also consider the location of a vessel where we are. If we are in a local coastal areas, we need to also go through sailing direction, local publication of what is there also, and consider that. Right? And then if she is not taking any action, range is decreasing and risk of collision is there, and there is nothing in 1B, she is still responsible under Calderay Convention, as I have explained earlier, right? So you will abide by a Calderay Convention by drawing her attention. If she doesn't do anything, you need to also take the action as a stand-on vessel. So rule number 17, you will take your action, end of story. If she is, say, calling you on the VHF, you will never tell the surveyor that, okay, if she says, I'm going to follow. No. You need to first visualize. VHF has to be backed up by a solid, concrete info. Say, for example, if somebody is calling me, I'm a US Coast Guard, I will also see by a binocular where she is calling me, and see, I will also monitor her by the site of that vessel where I can cite that, okay, USCG is written, US Coast Guard is there. I can also back it up with the VTS, right? If there is any exercise, I can also back up VHF, say we are carrying out any exercise and stuff like that. I can also go and back it up by the official info on the SATC and NAVTEX. But the basic of rule number 5 is I will take the decision only by sight and hearing itself, not only on the basis of VHF. And if there are no navigation warnings, again, I need to cite what kind of operation she is doing. If she is doing any special operation where there is a limitation of vessel involved, right? Then rule 2B will also come into picture. Or if she has got special circumstances, because these vessels are in a state of readiness, right? So they will not wait for somebody to publish the warnings, or they might also be indulged in some secret operations, which they might not be comfortable publishing, right? So after I made your base, I will try to answer this. So the first question is, you've got a warship on your starboard bow. So I will say to surveyor that if she is calling me on the VHF, it is still a scanty information. I need to back it up with some official information, right? By checking it on the SATC NAVTEX. If there are warnings there, then I'm going to take early action and avoid such kind of situation. Understood? Again, it also depends on the location of a vessel. If the vessel is in a coastal state, I also need to take 1B into play and check with the local publication sailing direction what is written there. If it is written there that I need to give way all the time, it doesn't matter if I am on her starboard side, I need to take action. And if she is responsible as per the Calderay Convention, that is 1A, and 1A is still applicable to a warship, then in that case, I will stand on with caution, 5-shot rapid blast. If she is not doing anything, I will take action as per rule number 70. Normal rules apply. If she is telling me VHF is a scanty information, should be backed up by the official SATC or the NAVTEX. He might also trick you, as I said, there are no navigational warnings. In that case, if there are no navigational warnings, so warships are special ships. I should use my seamanship, okay, and I should also cite what if she is doing any special operations or not. I can also establish a VHF communication just to check on that. I can verify that by sight, by hearing. I can check the light and shapes also, a special flag which is being hoisted by the vessel, and then I will take action accordingly. Right? So this is how you are going to deal with this kind of tricky situation. And if still risk of collision exists, you've always got 2B to depart or deviate if there are special circumstances or limitation of vessel. But directly you cannot say 2B, because if normally there is no warning, it means she's normal power driven vessel, isn't it? And for Coleridge, she is also the same, you are also the same. Coleridge convention applies to both. So normal rule number 15, crossing situation, will be applicable. And if surveyor says coastal waters, you have to look into 1B also. So just try to be a diplomatic in your answer and cover all the bases. I hope this video was helpful to you. You can share, like, and comment. Thank you.